Originally, the idea was supposed to be Aveda for the home. So it was supposed to be natural performance products that used in the home cleaning space. And over time, it evolved into, learning that the fact was maybe not being so green. That the idea was the actual products and like the packages are all 100% recycled plastic, but we would never accept 100% recycled plastic until we could make it look as beautiful as it was virgin plastic. So you worked on the technology to get there because you didn't want to compromise the fact that we wanted it to be a beautiful package. And Sandra Bullock would not be, in recycled plastic if she was, you wouldn't have a gray-haired Sandra Bullock. That was, because you get great packages when you recycle stuff. So I think it's a discussion you can have, but it's a lot of it I think can come from marketing strategy. I think if you build marketing strategy, and I'm like Gamze, I was the person who formulated. We sometimes bristle when you're the formulator and someone tells you, no, these are the rules for the brand. At the same point in time, when you have those rules, then it does force you to be much more creative and you become much more focused on the problems. And you create things that are very different because you can't just kind of copy what other people are doing and get the same answer. You have to do something different. And invariably that can lead you to a different form or a different benefit or a different occasion for use for something that can make a big difference in products. How about other issues?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So in the case when sometimes you're maybe presenting concept or ideas that could be different than the traditional thing, and maybe they're used to kind of saying, well, this is a tried and true route, I think we should, stick to this path type of thing, and you're trying to maybe argue or show them or educate them about a product or a package or something that is not yet proven in kind of the marketplace.
Yeah.
Like, how do you kind of win some support for something that has no
It's a great question. The one thing that I've seen done that we get, it's how we kind of developed our products at Method, was we would prototype everything up from the very beginning. So when we first would put a product concept on our calendar, the creative team would go off and already start developing copy or start developing a look for that package. And the design group would create a package and a shape and what that would mean and how that would thing, which then drove the formulators to understand, oh, it needs to be this kind of viscosity, or we need to deliver that kind of performance and benefit. And the thing that I was really shocked about was I used to do focus groups when I was at Procter & Gamble years and years and years ago, and we would never show things to people that weren't very polished up and very finished. What I found was when you take to focus groups things that obviously look like they were put together with duct tape and chewing gum and paper clips, that people give you much more honest feedback about what's good and what's bad about something. When it's so polished, they know that there's someone behind that mirror that probably worked hard on it and they don't want to hurt that person's feelings. But when they see that it's something, you're like, you can bring it to them, you're like, we know this looks like a piece of crap, but we want to get your feedback on it. They give you so much more in-depth, and you get insights about things that are like, and some of it, you're like, okay, well, it's obvious, oh, don't make the trigger that big or something like that. Well, we knew that going into it, but it's okay because sometimes having those very obvious flaws opens up so that you can delve in and understand kind of what's the bigger things. But you also then find out that it's like, but what I love about this is I could do this with this and I can't do it with my current product, or I can do that, and that sometimes it totally changes the direction of your development because it's an insight that you had thought about, and it's something that you could have done 97 different data surveys and no one would have ever told you that answer. So a lot of it is putting stuff out there in front of people, and if you don't have a budget to do focus groups, have people in your office try it, because when it's not just the marketing person who's selling it to sales, but everyone in the company is believing in it and they're telling the people why it's so great, then the salespeople really believe in it, and then they're going out there and selling it. And that's, in my experience, it's getting the salespeople to really buy in and understand a concept is the difference between success and failure, as much as the product, as much as the marketing, as much as everything else. So using some of those tricks can really go a long way.